Hello and welcome to IAMC Radio and Podcast.
Hello, everyone.
Today we're exploring the top news headlines for January 24th, 2025.
Lots to cover.
It's a whirlwind out there. So let's break down what's making waves.
Yeah.
We're starting off with a story that feels ripped from a spy thriller.
Oh, yeah.
President Trump has just signed an executive order declassifying all remaining files related to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr.
This is big.
Yeah.
This is huge. For decades, these assassinations have been shrouded in mystery and fueled countless conspiracy theories.
Absolutely.
The release of these files could finally shed light on what really happened, potentially rewriting our understanding of these pivotal moments in American history.
The FBI has already confirmed they're complying with the order.
Moving quickly.
Yeah, we're looking at the release of JFK files within 15 days.
Wow.
Followed by RFK and MLK files within 45 days.
Okay.
What's particularly intriguing is that the National Archives claims 97% of JFK assassination-related documents are already public.
So the question is, what's in that remaining 3%?
Right.
Could these be the missing pieces of the puzzle, or are they just more fuel for the conspiracy fire? It's a development that's sure to captivate historians and armchair detectives alike.
Now, shifting gears to a story that highlights the precarious state of democracy in some parts of the world.
Okay.
In Mozambique, newly inaugurated President Daniel Chapo has dismissed the police chief, Bernardino Rafael.
Oh.
This comes amid allegations of brutality during the October election and its aftermath.
This election was highly contested, with opposition leaders accusing Rafael of collaborating with criminal groups to intimidate and silence dissent.
Yeah.
The situation is incredibly volatile, with conflicting reports about the death toll. Rafael claims 96 people died, including 17 officers attributing it to self-defense or stray bullets.
But human rights groups paint a much grimmer picture, reporting approximately 300 fatalities.
Wow.
They accuse elite police units of turning residential areas into war zones, conducting illegal raids, and silencing anyone who dared to question the election results.
The appointment of a new police chief, Joaquin Silva, is clearly an attempt to restore some semblance of order and public trust.
Right.
But Silva himself has a controversial past, including a suspension in 2019 due to fatalities at a political rally. Whether this change in leadership will bring about meaningful reform remains to be seen.
Back in the U.S., we have a story that speaks to the deep divisions that still linger after the January 6th Capitol riot.
Oh, yeah.
A convicted participant, Pamela Hemphill, has refused a pardon from President Trump.
Hemphill's decision is a powerful statement of accountability.
Right.
She served a 60-day sentence after pleading guilty and believes that accepting a pardon would be an insult to the Capitol Police, the rule of law, and the very foundation of American democracy.
Yeah.
She's essentially saying, I broke the law and I'm willing to face the consequences.
This stands in stark contrast to the almost 1,600 individuals connected to the Capitol riot who did accept pardons from Trump.
Right.
His defense of these pardons, citing harsh prison conditions, has drawn sharp criticism even from within his own party.
Senators Tom Tillis and James Lankford, both Republicans, have voiced their disapproval.
Yeah.
They argue that these pardons undermine the rule of law and send a dangerous message that attacking the very heart of American democracy can be forgiven and forgotten.
It's a reminder that the wounds of January 6th are far from healed, and the debate over accountability and justice continues to rage on.
From a historical reckoning to political turmoil and individual acts of conscience, today's news offers a glimpse into the forces shaping our world.
And we're not done yet, still to come. A controversial court ruling in Nigeria, a heated debate over transgender rights in U.S. prisons, and President Trump's economic battle cry on the world stage. Stay tuned as we continue to explore these and other stories making headlines today.
Sounds good. Shifting our focus to Nigeria now, where a federal court has just made a landmark decision regarding the Lakurawa sect.
This ruling has sent shockwaves throughout the country.
Yeah.
A federal high court in Abuja has officially declared the Lakurawa sect and similar groups as terrorist organizations, effectively banning their activities nationwide.
This comes after years of escalating violence and instability attributed to these groups. The Lakurawa sect in particular has been linked to a string of horrific acts, including cattle rustling, kidnapping for ransom, and brutal attacks on communities.
The court's decision is a clear attempt to restore order and protect innocent civilians who have been living in fear. The order specifically targets groups involved in a wide range of criminal activities: banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling, even enslavement and torture. It's a stark reminder of the challenges Nigeria faces in ensuring the safety and security of its citizens.
Moving back to the US, we're seeing another controversial executive order from President Trump, this one targeting transgender women in the federal prison system.
This order has sparked immediate outrage from human rights groups and legal experts. It prohibits transgender women from being housed in women's federal prisons and halts all medical treatments related to gender transition. This is a significant expansion of restrictions imposed during Trump's first term, and it also affects transgender individuals in immigration detention centers.
The order is being framed as a measure to protect the rights and safety of non-transgender female inmates, the Women's Liberation Front, a group that advocates for single-sex prisons based on biological sex, has applauded the move, claiming it upholds the rights of women.
However, transgender advocates argue that this policy puts transgender women at immense risk. Shannon Minter from the National Center for Lesbian Rights has predicted an increase in rapes and assaults, while
in his keynote speech, Trump doubled down on his protectionist stance, outlining a plan to tackle economic challenges head-on. It's a familiar formula: lower taxes, raise tariffs, boost oil production, and encourage lower interest rates. The message is clear: America first.
Trump is proposing a corporate tax cut from 21% to 15%. He argues will incentivize companies to invest in America. But there's a catch. Companies operating overseas could face higher tariffs. Trump believes this strategy will generate billions in revenue, helping to reduce the national debt and fund tax cuts.
While this approach might resonate with some segments of the population, it's also generating pushback. Economists and experts are raising concerns about the potential downsides, arguing that lower corporate tax rates could actually increase the deficit. They also warn that tariffs could lead to higher prices for consumers, potentially reigniting inflation.
There's also skepticism about Trump's call for increased oil production in the face of weak global demand, and his suggestion that the Federal Reserve should lower interest rates is raising eyebrows as it directly challenges the Fed's independence. This economic plan is facing an uphill battle, with critics questioning its long-term effectiveness and warning of unintended consequences.
Switching gears back to U.S. domestic policy, we're seeing a major development in President Trump's ongoing crackdown on illegal immigration.
In a move that fulfills a key campaign promise, ICE has conducted a series of nationwide raids, resulting in the arrest of over 500 individuals.
The White House is framing this as a decisive action to secure the nation's borders and enforce immigration laws. They've been quick to highlight the criminal records of some of those arrested, including a suspected terrorist and individuals convicted of sex crimes. The message is clear: we're going after those who pose a threat to our safety and security.
The scale of this operation is staggering. The White House has dubbed it the largest deportation operation in history, with hundreds more deported using military aircraft. While this action is likely to be applauded by those who support stricter immigration enforcement, it's also reigniting the debate over immigration policy, human rights, and the very definition of what it means to be American.
And finally, a story that has the potential to fundamentally alter the landscape of American politics. A U.S. lawmaker has actually proposed a constitutional amendment that would allow President Trump to serve a third term in office.
This bold move comes from Representative Andy Ogles, a Republican from Tennessee. Ogles is a staunch supporter of Trump, arguing that he needs more time to make America great again and undo the damage he believes was inflicted by the previous administration. He's framing this as giving Trump the opportunity to fully realize his vision for the country.
This proposal, however, faces an uphill battle, to say the least. The 22nd Amendment, which limits presidents to 2 terms, is deeply ingrained in American political culture. Overturning it would require a Herculean effort, with support needed from 2/3 of both the House and Senate, as well as ratification by 3/4 of the states.
It's a long shot, but the fact that it's even being considered speaks volumes about the current political climate and the deep divisions within American society.
So we have a roller coaster of headlines today, touching on everything from historical secrets to political power plays, ethical dilemmas, and the very fabric of American democracy.
And leaves us with a lot to think about. What does it mean to hold those in power accountable? How do we balance security concerns with individual rights and freedoms? And what role do we as citizens play in shaping the future we want to see?
These are questions we all need to grapple with, and perhaps today's news provides a framework for those conversations. What stands out to you from all these stories?
I'm struck by the recurring theme of transparency and accountability, whether it's the release of those assassination files, the outcry over police brutality in Mozambique, or Pamela Hempill's refusal to accept a pardon. There's a clear demand for truth. and a rejection of easy answers.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder that we can't just sweep difficult events under the rug. We need to examine them, learn from them, and hold those responsible accountable.
And it's not just about the past. We're seeing these themes play out in real time with the debate over transgender rights in prisons and the ethical implications of Trump's immigration crackdown. It feels like the world is demanding a higher standard of justice.
Absolutely, and that demand is coming from individuals, communities, and even across national borders. Look at the concerns surrounding Trump's economic policies on a global scale. We're all interconnected, and those connections are becoming more apparent than ever.
It can feel overwhelming at times, but it's also a testament to the power of information and critical thinking. We have more access to knowledge than ever before, and it's up to us to use it wisely.
Stay informed, engage in thoughtful conversations, and don't be afraid to question the status quo. That's how we move forward together.
Well said. Thank you for listening to the Today's Top News Headlines on IAMC Radio and Podcast.